This is Antique Video #1 for songbooks, antique songbooks. And as you can see here, we have Dixieland music. But before we get into that, this is Tom Gar Antique Collectibles Gmail address, g207670@gmail.com. Okay, now Dixieland. Let's get back to Dixieland. This Dixieland, it's a number of songs inside this book. It is consists of just 3 pages. What we have here, all the song notes has been marked as to the sounds that were supposed to be made during singing of this Dixie song. And we have a company here that made this, copyright MCMII by E.W. Witzman and Company. Okay, now we'll move on to the next songbook. We'll move on to the next songbook, and you can see for yourself Kathleen, Marvelyn, Mrs. Crawford, John N. Crouch. Now this book of song notes, let me get a little more specific here. As you can see the date here on this thing, it says December the 13th, 1899, and the Boston Weekly Journal of Sheet Music, December the 13th, 1899. Now the song notes in here is practically the same, but they have not been marked. The song notes in this pamphlet. Now we'll move on to the next pamphlet here. We'll move on to the next pamphlet. We have Way Down in Old Virginia, plantation songs of chores, Mrs. W. Leslie Collins. Okay, this songbook has about as many pictures as the last two, a memo of just 3 pages. And this one is dated, copyrighted 1885 by August G. Richards. We have published by August G. Richards. Oh, that's a long time ago, I tell you. Plantation songs of chores. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have another one here with the same amount of pages as the first one. And this one here is by Celebrating Movement from the works of L. Van Beethoven, if I pronounced it that right. And this one here from 1770 to 1827. Take study notes. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one here. We have one here, Mystic Dreams. And it's a name here in the corner, Charles R. Stinky, composer of Southern Bloom Scottish. Okay, how I'm doing? Here's another one here, reading here, J.W. Wilkinson and Sons Music Company. Kansas City. 75 cents. Published. Okay, what I see on this one, we'll turn to the front page. None of the songs has been marked. None of the songs has been marked. It's about the same. And we have about 4 pages here. We have some information here on the back that may be helpful. W.J. Sons Music Company, published by. Okay. Same thing. Now we're going to move on to a much bigger book. This book right here is the final book to this video. And this book was designed for a violinist, a person who plays violins. Okay, the world, it's got about 200 and some pages in there. And as you can see there, it says the greatest collection ever published. The greatest collection ever published is inside this book of 200 and some odd pages. And here's all of them right here written. Now, what about the date? We have a date here on this next page. I better be real careful with this because this one here is really old. As you can see the date at the bottom here. Copyrighted 1916 by D. Appleton and Company. Okay, D. Appleton and Company, London. New York, London. Okay. And now, I guess that was the final